Imagine standing in the shadow of a colossal machine, a six-story titan humming with the promise of unlocking the star's secrets right here on Earth. Your heart races as alarms pierce the air, not from catastrophe, but from the unknown. A glimpse into something so profound it halts everything in an instant. This is the story of JT-60SA, the world's mightiest fusion reactor, nestled in the quiet hills of Japan, where humanity's boldest dream of endless, clean energy teetered on the edge of revelation. It wasn't a failure that shut it down. It was a vision, a fleeting sight in the data that left scientists breathless, questioning everything they thought they knew about the universe's fire. Picture the control room, bathed in the glow of flickering screens, where a team of dedicated souls, physicists with weary eyes and unyielding hope, watched as the reactor pushed the boundaries of possibility. The plasma inside, hotter than the sun's core at over 100 million degrees, swirled like a captive storm, contained by invisible magnetic fields. Then, without warning, the neutron detectors lit up, not in chaos, but in a symphony no one had composed. Patterns emerged, defying every model built over decades of tireless pursuit. The air grew thick with tension. Whispers turned to urgent calls. Was this the breakthrough they'd chased for lifetimes, or a warning from the depths of physics itself? The reactor, this behemoth of human ingenuity, had seen something, an anomaly that doubled energy containment in mere microseconds, fluctuations in temperature and density that danced outside the rules. In that moment, fear mingled with awe. What if this wasn't just plasma behaving strangely? What if it was the dawn of something new, a force we weren't ready to comprehend? The shutdown came swiftly, not by human hand at first, but by the vigilant eyes of artificial intelligence woven into the reactor's core. These AI guardians, faster than any reflex, monitored every whisper of change, adjusting magnetic fields and plasma flows hundreds of times each second. They were the unsung heroes designed to protect this billion-dollar marvel from itself. But on that day, the logs told a tale of confusion. Some readings steady as stone, others phantom echoes of impossible energies. The AI flagged it as danger, extinguishing the plasma in under a third of a second. A heartbeat's pause that saved everything, yet left a void of questions. Did it sense a quantum whisper, a ripple in reality that could unravel the containment? Or was it a misstep, interpreting wonder as threat? The team froze, hearts pounding as the hum faded to silence. This wasn't a glitch. It was a memory etched into their souls. A reminder that in chasing the sun's power, we might awaken mysteries beyond our grasp. As the facility locked down, echoes of the event rippled outward, stirring memories of past pursuits. This wasn't the first time fusion's flame had flickered with the unexpected. Back in the shadowed days of the Cold War, experiments like Britain's ZETA and America's Project Sherwood promised the stars only to retract in hushed tones, their breakthroughs buried under layers of secrecy. Declassified whispers now reveal plasma behaviors that defied the physics of their era, self-organizing knots of energy, particles that shouldn't exist. What if JT-60SA had glimpsed the same forbidden dance, scaled up to terrifying complexity? Inside the chamber, under magnetic grips stronger than imagination, an exotic structure began to form amid the plasma's fury. At 120 million degrees, where atoms strip bare and fuse in ecstatic release, muons appeared, heavy ghosts of particles, lingering where they shouldn't. Bursts of high-energy sparks lit the sensors, their spectra wrong, mismatched to the fusion we know. The neutron flux surged tenfold. Gamma rays spiked like screams in the night. Every instrument reacted, a chorus of alarm that shifted the room from routine to revelation. In that uncharted territory, the machines, trained to safeguard our ambitions, hit the kill switch, and the world held its breath. But the anomaly didn't stay contained. High above, satellites orbiting our fragile blue world caught a spike, a burst of particles piercing the atmosphere, timed perfectly to the reactor's gasp. Environmental monitors blinked in confusion. Space weather logs marked an unexplained anomaly directly over the site. Officials declined comment, but the implications hung heavy. Had the reactor, for a split second, bridged Earth and sky? As we build giants like ITER, 10 times larger, these questions turn from curiosity to urgency. What if our quest for unlimited energy risks the heavens themselves, endangering satellites, astronauts, the very fabric of our connected world? The silence that followed the shutdown of JT-60SA was louder than the alarms. In the control room, where moments before screens had blazed with impossible data, a heavy quiet settled over the scientists. Their faces, lit by the fading glow of monitors, held a mix of wonder and dread, as if they'd peered through a keyhole into a room they weren't meant to enter. The reactor, now dormant, stood like a sleeping giant in the heart of the facility, its chambers cooling, but its secrets burning hotter than ever. Beyond the sealed doors, whispers began to spread, not just among the researchers, but through the global network of fusion labs, where news of the anomaly sent ripples of unease. Teams in Germany, China, and France adjusted their own experiments within weeks, as if bracing for something unspoken. The world's most ambitious energy quest had stumbled into a mystery, and the answers were locked away, guarded by protocol and fear. What had they seen in that plasma storm, and why did it feel like the universe itself had blinked back at them? The data, what little was shared, painted a picture of defiance, physics bending in ways it shouldn't. The plasma, that writhing, sun-hot entity, hadn't just misbehaved. It had sculpted itself into something alive, a fleeting structure of energy that pulsed with intent. Researchers whispered of self-organizing plasma knots, a phenomenon seen in smaller experiments but never at this scale, never with such complexity. Moons, those heavy, elusive particles, flickered in the detectors, their presence a riddle wrapped in a paradox. They shouldn't linger in a tokamak's fiery embrace, yet there they were. Signatures unmistakable, like footprints in a forbidden realm. Gamma rays, too, surged in patterns that didn't align with the expected fusion of deuterium and tritium. It was as if the reactor had become a crucible for something beyond our equations, a forge where the rules of reality wavered. The scientists, trained to chase precision, found themselves grappling with the surreal, their instruments singing a song no one could read. The AI, that silent sentinel, had acted decisively, but its logs offered no clarity, just fragments of normalcy laced with ghost readings that technicians dubbed phantom data. Some speculated the AI had glimpsed a quantum anomaly, a tear in the fabric of containment that could have unleashed catastrophe. Others wondered if it had overreacted, mistaking a breakthrough for a threat. The truth lay buried in restricted files accessible only to a select few, while the team was quietly separated, their notes confiscated, their questions unanswered. This wasn't just a shutdown. It was a purge, a deliberate silencing that echoed history's cautionary tales. Decades ago, in the fevered race of the Cold War, fusion experiments like Britain's Zeta and America's Project Sherwood had danced with similar shadows. They'd claimed victories, only to retract them, their discoveries cloaked in secrecy or dismissed as errors. Declassified documents now hint at plasma phenomena that baffled the minds of their time, energies that seemed to defy containment, particles that flickered in and out of existence. Were we seeing a repeat, a modern echo of those suppressed moments? The pattern was unsettling. Breakthroughs glimpsed, then buried, as if the universe guarded its deepest secrets with a jealous hand. What made this moment different, though, was its reach. The anomaly didn't stay confined to the reactor's walls. Satellites, those silent watchers in the void, caught a fleeting pulse. A burst of high-energy particles blooming in the atmosphere above the facility, perfectly timed with the shutdown. Space weather records marked it as an unexplained spike, a cosmic hiccup that raised eyebrows at NOAA and beyond. No official statement came, just a curt refusal to comment, but the implications were staggering. Had the reactor's plasma, for one wild instant, reached beyond its magnetic cage to touch the heavens? The thought was both exhilarating and terrifying. Fusion reactors at their core are miniature stars, but they're also particle colliders in disguise, capable of spawning side effects we barely understand. At 120 million degrees, where matter becomes a primal soup, could we have sparked something? A field, a particle, a force that rippled into space itself? As plans for larger reactors like ITER loom, this question grows heavier. ITER, a global gamble in France, dwarfs JT60SA, its ambitions as vast as its budget overruns. Designed to be 10 times larger than any tokamak before it, it promises to crack fusion's code by 2035. But this incident casts a long shadow. If a single anomaly can send shockwaves into orbit, what might happen when we scale up? Satellites underpin our world: communication, navigation, defense, and a misstep could ripple through economies and skies alike. Astronauts in orbit, space tourists dreaming of the stars, all could face risks we haven't yet fathomed. The stakes feel personal now, not just scientific. This wasn't just about energy. It was about humanity's place in a universe that might not be ready to share its secrets. Yet the silence from the facility spoke louder than any data. No press conferences, no papers, just a void where answers should be. The researchers, bound by protocol, stayed quiet, but their eyes betrayed the weight of what they'd witnessed. Some whispered of a discovery too big to unveil, a glimpse of physics that could rewrite textbooks or upend industries. Fusion, after all, isn't just a science. It's a revolution waiting to happen. A single reactor producing more energy than it consumes could topple trillion-dollar fossil fuel empires, reshape global economies, and shift power from oil-rich nations to anyone with a reactor and a dream. Was the shutdown a precaution or something more? A delay to control a narrative that could change the world? Private companies like Helion and TAE Technologies are racing toward commercial fusion, their reactors already hitting temperatures rivaling JT60SA's. Helion aims for electricity by 2024, a deadline that feels like a gauntlet thrown at national labs. What if those labs, tethered to government funding and global scrutiny, chose caution over candor to protect their place in the race? The thought lingers, heavy with possibility, that what happened in that chamber wasn't just a scientific anomaly, but a moment where humanity brushed against a truth too vast, too disruptive, to be shared. The world waits, holding its breath, for answers that may never come. In the wake of JT60SA's abrupt shutdown, the fusion community stands at a crossroads, caught between the thrill of discovery and the shadow of the unknown. The reactor, now a silent monument to human ambition, sits in its Japanese stronghold, its chambers cold, but its legacy ablaze with questions. What happened in that fleeting moment when the plasma spoke in tongues no one could translate? Was it a glimpse of our energy future? A spark that could light civilizations for millennia? Or a warning that we've pushed too far, too fast, into realms we don't fully grasp? The researchers, scattered now, carry the weight of that day in their quiet glances, their guarded words. They agree seen something, something that changed the rhythm of their lives, something that made the machines themselves recoil. But the truth remains locked behind sealed doors, in encrypted files and hushed conversations, leaving the rest of us to wonder, what did they find, and why are they so afraid to share it? The official story is sparse, a thin veil over a deeper mystery. Japan's National Institutes for Quantum Science and Technology confirmed the shutdown was unscheduled, a safety protocol triggered during a routine experimental run. No equipment failed, no bolts came loose, yet every sensor, neutron detectors, magnetic field monitors, temperature probes sang in unison, their readings a chorus of the impossible. The plasma, that raging star caged in magnetic coils, had woven a structure, a fleeting form that pulsed with purpose. Moons, heavy and defiant, lingered where they shouldn't. Gamma rays painted spectra that mocked our models. The neutron flux surged tenfold, a tidal wave of energy that no equation could tame. And then, from the heavens, satellites bore witness. A burst of particles piercing the atmosphere, a cosmic echo of the reactor's cry. This wasn't just a lab experiment gone awry. It was a moment where Earth and sky touched, and the universe seemed to notice. The global fusion race, already a tapestry of triumphs and setbacks, felt the shockwaves. Germany's Wendelstein 7X, with its record-breaking plasma stability, tightened its protocols. China's East Tokamak, the artificial sun that held 70 million degrees for an unbroken 17 minutes, recalibrated its sensors. Even the joint European Taurus, in its final, glorious run, smashed records with 69 megajoules of energy in 5 seconds. A swan song that echoed JT-60SA's ambition. But none of these giants had faced what Japan's reactor did, a glimpse of something beyond the physics we know, a phenomenon that forced an AI to pull the plug in a heartbeat. The data, those precious fragments of truth, remain unpublished, unshared, a treasure guarded by silence. Some physicists whisper of new plasma physics, phenomena that only emerge at these extreme scales, where temperatures dwarf the sun and matter dances to unfamiliar rules. Others fear we've stumbled into a forbidden zone, where fusion reactions birth particles or fields our theories can't name. The implications stretch far beyond the lab. Fusion isn't just a dream of clean energy, it's a force that could reshape the world. A single reactor, producing more power than it consumes, could crash oil markets, topple economies built on fossil fuels, and hand the keys to progress to anyone bold enough to wield them. Private players like Helion, with its 2024 deadline, and TAE Technologies, pushing plasma to 75 million degrees, are closing in fast. Their venture-backed reactors challenge the slow grind of government labs, raising a question that haunts the silence. Was the shutdown a safeguard or a stall? Did national labs tethered to funding and politics bury a breakthrough to keep control? The thought isn't conspiracy, it's human nature. Progress this big threatens empires, and empires don't fall quietly. Yet the stakes are higher than markets or geopolitics. The satellite spike, that fleeting pulse in the atmosphere, hints at risks we've barely begun to explore. If a reactor's anomaly can ripple into orbit, what happens when we scale up to ITER, a colossus 10 times larger, billions over budget, and decades behind schedule? Its first plasma, delayed to 2025, and full power, not until 2035, now carry a new weight. Ground the dreams of space tourism? Fusion reactors are stars in miniature, but stars are wild, untamed things, and we're only beginning to learn their language. The Cold War's ghosts linger here too. Zeta and Project Sherwood, with their hushed retractions and buried results, remind us that fusion has always flirted with the unknown. Those experiments saw plasmas twist in ways that defied their era's science, and their silence shaped the path we walk today. JT-60SA's moment feels like a descendant of those mysteries, but magnified, urgent, undeniable. The researchers who stood in that control room, watching their screens flare with impossible patterns, carry a story they can't yet tell. Some believe they saw the edge of a new frontier, a physics that could unlock not just energy, but truths about the universe itself. Others fear they brushed against a boundary we're not ready to cross, a line where our machines outpace our understanding. As the investigation continues behind closed doors, the world outside buzzes with curiosity and unease. Fusion has always been a chase for the infinite, a dream of power drawn from the stars, a promise to light our cities without burning our planet. Since the 1950s, we've poured hearts and fortunes into this quest, inching closer with every reactor, every plasma pulse. JT-60SA was meant to bridge the gap to ITER, to refine the art of controlling a star's heart. But this shutdown, this fleeting glimpse of something other, suggests we may have crossed a threshold. Was it a breakthrough, a threat, or a whisper of something we can't yet name? The data, locked away, holds clues that could redefine fusion, rewrite physics, or warn us to tread lightly. For now we wait, watching the skies and the labs, wondering if we've glimpsed our future or stirred a force we don't yet understand. The reactor is silent, but its echo lingers, a call to keep chasing, keep questioning, keep dreaming of the day we harness the stars and face whatever truths they hold.